professional development is something that I really do enjoy talking about. It is something that is a part of the home of curriculum and instruction. And we'd like to start with this statement as a basis for our professional development. Every student deserves a great teacher. That is not by chance, but by design. And so I wish I had said that. Doug Fisher said it, so I put his name on there. And that is something that we kind of live by here in Rockville Center. We build a system where we develop and help nurture great teachers. So our PD plan, and there's quite a bit in this presentation. I'm not going to expect you to read every word, nor am I going to read every word to you. This will be on the website. We start with a professional development plan and a mission statement to develop students that are independent thinkers and problem solvers. We work with the school district, the PTA, the Teachers Association, the Curriculum Committee, the Board of Education. We have a plan that is in place that meets state guidelines. All of that is here on this slide. There are a great many items in our plan. It includes, this one I will read, math, ELA, writing across the curriculum, science, mental health, social emotional learning, cybersecurity, articulation across the schools and the grades, professional learning communities, which is PLC, collegial circles, IB roundtables, MYP, mindfulness is a professional development we've been doing for the past 3 years, transference, where you take something in one subject area and transfer it to another subject area, trying to knock down those silos so that kids understand that this is not just the room I do ELA. I can use the skills I learn here and use them in other areas as well. Technology integration and implementation. E&L, English as a new language for our students. Special education, differentiated instruction. This is just things off the top of my head as I was putting this slide together, just amongst these. So if someone out there says, well, you forgot this or forgot that, I'll give you that one. We can maybe add that as we go forward. What's the goal? Again, not a slide I'm going to read to you, but is to improve the quality of teaching and learning to meet the needs of our students. Developing 21st century skills. We use a data warehouse to look at instruction. We use pedagogical research. We build leadership and capacity through mentoring. All of these things are part of our program. We work with new language students. We work with our middle school on the MYP, and again at the high school and international baccalaureate. Goes on and on. New York State has their own professional development guidelines and goals. They hope that we meet the needs of the members of our school community, including administrators and support personnel. Needs to be addressed to ensure focus on continuous learning. That is something that we work with our teachers. We want our students to be lifelong learners. We want our teachers, our administrators to be that as well. And their focus is to close the achievement gap and improve achievement for all students. There's a link there to go right to their site if you like. This is the beginning of their site, the professional development terms, this page. The reason I show you this is this page goes on and on and on and on and on and on and literally goes for 10 more pages, but I just thought the slides were getting to be too long. But it is amazing what the state has in their professional development plan and what we are responsible for. And I'm confident to say that we meet those. One of the things the state has adopted the past few years is something called continuing teacher and continuing teacher and leader education, CTLE. And teachers must complete 100 clock hours of CTLE professional development during a 5-year period. That is done throughout any professional development that is done during the day. If they do 6-hour PD, they can count that 6 hours. If they do a 2-hour after school, it counts that. So the state has minimum requirements for professional development for its teachers. In Rockville Center, PD is year-round and it is ongoing. It is mandated contractually for tenured teachers, guidance counselors, social workers, school psychologists. We do 10 hours a year. Untenured teachers do 16 hours, and teaching assistants also do professional development for 6 hours. Some of that professional development is delivered by our teacher center. It is professional development by teachers for teachers. I'm going to talk a little bit about that research as we move forward. It is NYSED funded, which we like because they help to fund some of our professional development. A lot of it is technology based, and we do a lot of our E&L support for professional development through the teacher center. It's a great collaboration. Right in this room, we recently had IB roundtables. This is an example. Now, this is a square. It's not a round table, so please don't try to get me on that. But the IB roundtables are people working together to problem solve around issues with IB, share best practices, share ideas. And we had people from all over Long Island, right here in this room, just a couple weeks ago, working on IB roundtables. This is an example of some of the professional development we do with our ELA curriculum. Really proud of this. We just presented this at our PTA curriculum committee meeting the other night. We from scratch, have been working with ELA K through 5. We have a professional developer that comes in and works with us. This is curriculum writing by our teachers for our teachers. This models a mentor text that teachers read to our students, shows a chart that the students use and teachers develop together as they start to develop their writing. This is just a piece on writing. This has taken years. Today, grade 4 was meeting with their colleagues working on this professional development, working on our ELA curriculum. It is truly a living document. We have grade level PD each year. I do that with Dr. Sampino, Janine, as everyone calls her. And we work with all grades K through 5. We also work through the middle school. And Mr. Murphy does a lot of the professional development with his APs at the high school. We provide resources for that as well, and sometimes work with them. But the grade level PD is great because it gives all the K teachers, all the grade 1 teachers, all the grade 2 opportunities to sit together, share ideas, share some of the things that they're working on. We review any new curriculum that's written over the year. We discuss any new resources. This year, I'll give a plug for the Education Foundation, the Rockville Center Education Foundation, gave us 3 years' worth of grant monies for a program called Mystery Science, which is a fantastic online science resource. So we review that with our teachers during grade level professional development meetings, discuss those resources. Any grade level concerns? We have concerns. We had geckos. The geckos were dying. What do we do with the geckos? We have these live kits in science, so we're very concerned about what's happening, making sure I don't have enough mealworms for my geckos, things like that. I get very interesting emails sometimes. But it's a great program. That's part of our science. Science kits changed this year. We're constantly doing things with that. And we do an item analysis. And that's where I talked about the data warehouse. Our 3 through 8 assessment results go into a data warehouse through Nassau BOCES. We can pull those results. We can compare ourselves to the county. We can compare ourselves to the state. We can compare ourselves within the district. We can compare ourselves against buildings, and we can compare ourselves to our colleagues in the room next door. Really important that we do that in item analysis. We see where we have strength. We have areas of weakness that we might be able to say, hey, wow, this teacher's really hitting it out of the park with this question on numeracy. This other teacher might be struggling. Let's get them together, see how they can't work with each other. Really important. We have elementary math implementation teachers. We have 2 of them. That's something we may discuss during budget season. But we have 2 elementary math implementation teachers. They provide professional development for our teachers. They also do all of our curriculum leadership. They do AIS instruction as well. They are pulled in many directions. And they are a colleague in your classroom offering advice and support as well. So they are not administrators. They're able to support the teachers. And math is ever changing, and we're lucky to have them. Just an example of a district-wide initiative. We've been doing mindfulness in the district for 3 years now. We began in almost 3 years now. Began in 2017. So far, we've trained over 290 staff for a total of over 40 hours. We've had 2-day-long summer retreats. We've had a parent night. This is an example of something that we do. Professional development should not be a one-shot, should not be someone flies in from California, works with you for 6 hours, and then you never see that person again. It's something that has to be ongoing, and we're proud of the fact that mindfulness, again, is almost 3 years in the district. We've done a lot of work around it. And the mindfulness instructor is actually a Southside High School graduate. We're very happy about that as well. We do administrative professional development. Observation look-fors. What that means is when I'm going to an observation in this particular class, what should I be looking for? What's the key element that I should see as this teacher is working with her students? Inter-rater reliability. Anyone know what inter-rater reliability is? I'll make it a little more like interactive. Inter-rater reliability, Bueller. Inter-rater reliability is when I go into a room and I see something with a teacher, Dr. Leahy should go in that room and see that same thing with that teacher. I should not walk out and say, wow, this one knocked it out of the park, and she goes in and sees that same teacher, oh, this person is struggling a bit. So we should be able to have this reliability between us that we're looking at the same thing and be consistent. And that's quite honestly fair for the teachers as well, right? If you have one come in that's got these standards, another one has other standards. So that's a piece we do on Dr. Leahy actually helps us run that inter-rater reliability. We have an investigations math program. We're just training our principals on that at the elementary level as well. We talked about how to use the data warehouse. Again, sharing best practices is really a great opportunity for our principals and APs. We do review curriculum. We do an item analysis just like we do with the teachers. And this is something brand new. As you know, we do have some newer elementary principals, and we have just brought in some new elementary principal monthly meetings. So this is something that we do now on a monthly basis where we have all 5 elementary principals come together, and we talk with them about all of these opportunities. Model schools, BOCES. We work with Nassau BOCES. We have an in-house technology professional developer. Anytime we purchase items from Nassau BOCES, for example, the iPads that we purchase each year for our students for our one-to-one initiative, it comes with a professional developer. That person works throughout the district and all of our buildings. She goes from building to building, scheduling appointments with teachers. She supports all the technology we have from BOCES. She utilizes things like iPads, Seesaw, Google Classroom, which is a big initiative for us this year, which has replaced eBackpack, and provides for us during and after school professional development. We have My Learning Plan professional development request form. If I am a teacher and I want to provide professional development for my colleagues, I can fill out a form for that. Some of the best people to provide professional development are in the classrooms next to you when you are a teacher, or you yourself can be a great resource for your colleagues. So we'll have teachers, we encourage teachers to provide professional development in the district. They fill out this form, they can check off these boxes. Is my PD around New York State standards? Is it around curriculum integration? Is it around building leadership? Is it going to be for in-service? Is it going to be during the day, after the day? The staff fill out these forms and then I approve them. Once I approve them, they go into a queue. You can see I have 83 items to approve there. There's not 83 right there, there's just a handful. But as I approve each one, they start to tick up. And here's just a quick menu of what you see there. There's a PM one from Rockville Center Schools, PM STEM in the elementary classroom, PM mindfulness in the classroom. You see workshops around music, mindfulness in your classroom, mindfulness so mindfulness is a pretty big one. Logic Pro, X-Digital Music Production, Fall Conference, Zone 7, Area All-State Festival, Creativity Summit. So I have to approve all of these items. The principals approve them, and then I approve them as well. We also have some distance learning we brought in recently. In particular, the distance learning is around our E&L students. It's not easy to get E&L professional development for our teachers. We do have some excellent people on staff. We've been sending people out a lot. This idea came to us 2 years ago. This is our second year of using this, where online they can learn and receive 2 hours of professional development, starting to look in that area as well. I get nice graphs from my learning plan. You can see these areas of where we're meeting our goals, how much professional development is taking place. Again, a key element to what I do and what this district does is around professional growth. As of July 2019, this is why my fingers hurt. As of July 2019, we have 3,809, that's a real number, of professional development requests that need to be approved. So there's a great many people doing professional development throughout the year. You can see there I have a bunch pending, so I better get on that. I talked a little bit about research on professional development. There's an article and a research paper that went out putting professional back in teacher professional development. And their findings, I'm happy to report, teachers want to learn from their colleagues. Being a teacher leader increases one's sense of professional efficacy. Districts create structures for teachers to collaborate. To create lasting changes, professional development shouldn't be one and done, as I mentioned before. Teacher leaders get the best results when they build a wide range of relationships. All of this is something that we have structured and built through our professional development plan. We want our teachers delivering professional development because they are the best ones at it. On occasion, yes, we do bring people in or send them out, but developing our own experts is really the way to go. And the research backs that up. We have a professional development budget each year. In total of conferences and workshops, around $40,000. The PD programs and consultants that we bring into the district throughout the grade levels is about $42,000. And BOCES professional development, those are all the different things that we send people to, such as Wilson Reading, social emotional learning, what else do we have? Cultural identification, stress and trauma, E&L, principal leadership. All of those are examples of professional development that we do within and outside of the district. We also get some federal grant funds, Title IIA funds, and some of that money is allocated for our use with BOCES. We're part of an Excellence and Equity Consortium, one of the founding districts around that. We have an allocation of about $23,500, which we use towards our PM workshops. They are mostly teacher facilitated. And St. Agnes gets a piece of that federal grant as well. Those are strictly to be used for professional development. I have a nice little professional development lending library. When we get texts or make purchases, that's up in the office across the street, and people do sign out books and can use them, and we inter-office them for people with all different types of professional development ideas. We do survey. Someone asked me one time, how effective is your professional development? We survey every teacher after they do their professional development. It's one of the first things I did when I got here 11 years ago. On a scale of 1 to 5, 1 being the lowest, 5 being the highest, how worthy was this? I can't even read that.
How prepared was the presenter?
How prepared was the presenter? Thank you very much. So you see people felt here that they were prepared. Was this PD what you expected? There's several questions. Was it understandable? And this one really I felt was important, that the worst thing I can do to a teacher is at 5 o'clock on a Thursday in the rain in February, maybe snow, have them sitting there wasting their time. That is unacceptable to me. And so you see, that final questionnaire, I felt this professional development opportunity was worthy of my time. That is very important to me, as I consider myself a teacher always. And so I want to hear from our teachers that they feel that they're being heard. At the bottom, people will take time sometimes to write in responses. I picked 2 at random. They have to be really nice responses about professional development. The workshop is very valuable. I learned various materials from the break box. The second one says, a workshop and handouts associated with Century Box put to immediate use in my classroom. I will benefit from these tools. Thank you. Again, just examples of some of the things that we do in our survey. I got this from out of nowhere. Just someone sent me an email about our professional developer, Laura Collin, from Model Schools at BOCES. We're working with Google Classroom. It's new to us. We're working with HyperDocs. It's really a lot going on. We use Discovery Ed as a graphic organizer. There's no way I could have done this without her knowledge and patience. She's helping me untap the power of Google Classroom, which is invaluable to me. Again, I put this in because I was working on this PD when I got this PowerPoint when I got this, but just speaks to the professionals that we bring in this district and that work with our teachers and the professionals that our teachers are. Lastly, I know this slide looks a little weird. When I showed it to people, they're like, why do you put in a slide like that? This is from Janine Sampino at a conference on a Friday off somewhere, sends me this and says, look at this. You have to put this in your slideshow. And it just, John Hattie is a world-renowned researcher, educational researcher. And he says we have to focus on the greatest source of variance for our students, which is the teacher. And he says, these things occur once the classroom door is closed, and it's not by reorganizing who is in the classroom or how many students are behind those doors. What's most important is who is that teacher and how you professionally develop that teacher. And that's something, again, I'm proud of in this district. We take a lot of time. There's a big budget for it. It's extremely important. I think our teachers see it as worthy of their time as well. And I think I was able to wrap it up. Look at that, record time. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you.